Hello, hi, welcome to a VW Beetle, and it's by Rodrigo. Now his name Rodrigo Marini, I think that's how you say it. I apologise if I'm saying the name correctly. I think it's Rodrigo anyway. So anyway, let's have a look up here. That's the car's fantastic. So it's a 1965 VW Beetle. I think it's great. It's got an engine, which is kind of great. You don't normally get that, but it's pretty great. It's a royalty free. It's a 4K graphics. I think they're great. As I said, you can pause the video and you can have a read of it. If you want to see the car itself, the proper original, go to Blender and type down the name in. As I said, I'll zoom in for you so you can see your name. As I said, it's Rodrigo Marini. I apologise for not saying name correctly. Anyway, what I'm doing, this is Windows 3D Viewer, as you can see. What I'm doing, I did leave a like just up here, look, as you can see. I'll give him 10 stars because I think the car's absolutely great. He's took a lot of time and a lot of effort to make that car. He really has. So I think he's giving you the inside of it, the outside of it, basically. He's giving the engine and everything like that. He's, anyway, it's a really, really nice looking car. It really is. It's well worth the 10 stars. It really is. So as I said, I did actually, if you look just there, look, it says thanks A1 Bug Box. So as I said, that's not thanks to me, that's my thanks to him for making it. I'm making a game called Red Band Alley and I need some assets. I want the assets to look absolutely incredibly great like that. So I'm thinking, kind of great. Now of course, if you look at the car compared to this car, you'll notice there's a couple of differences on it. Now you'll notice my windows are blue. The windows are not, they are actually glass, that's what they are. The exact same as that. The only difference between this car and that car, there's two differences. Well, there's actually three differences now. So the first difference is the texture quality of this car in Red Band Alley. It's not 4K anymore. Now, I run a really low end computer, that's what I'm using. So I don't use anything higher than 1024, that's what I use. And I don't really use that either. I use RGB color, that's what I use. So this is a 4K. Now, it's kind of great. But if you're running high quality textures, now this man here, obviously he knows what he's doing. He knows how to make a car, and he knows how to model. So I think it's absolutely great. Now, as I said, if you got like a high end computer, then I'm gonna say go and look at the man's assets because they're really great. Now, if you're only gonna do renders, yeah, the car's perfectly great. I want it for the game world. So I'm thinking, can I keep the car exactly more or less as it is, and just kind of basically tweak it? So I'm thinking, okay, I can drop it right down to say 1024, but because if you look at the car, I tell you in the video it's got a 1024 texture on it. Now, it hasn't got a texture on it at the moment. It's got an RGB colour. So now, if I look at the texture and look at the colour, because now I've changed it, it's the same red as that red there. It's only the lighting in here that makes it look different. If you kind of half tilt the car, if I go into the windows and move the light around and kind of put it in a different position, the car looks like it changes colour. The car doesn't change colour, it's just the light that's inside the world. As I say, it all depends on the game itself. Now of course, don't forget, when it's in the game world, because it's going to have better rendering settings, the car itself is going to look, even though it's a really kind of cheap quality looking asset for myself personally, because it's an actual high quality asset, which it is. So I'm not saying the man's quality is low quality. I'm saying I've transferred it from that to that. Now, if you look at that compared to that, it's almost, well, it's identical. It's the exact same car. The only thing that's different, if I took his texture now and put it back on this car would look no different to that. The only difference between this car and that car, now I'm telling you this just in case just in case, Rodrigo, just in case he's saying, well, you can't do that. Now, if you watch the car back wheel, you see how it turns on its own. Now, if you download the original model, if you download this model, now I'm not picking faults with it, I'm really not, because the car's absolutely perfect. What the man's done, he's glued the middle part and the middle part together, so it's one piece. He's glued the two tires together, so they're one piece. he's done the same on the back. He's glued the middle and glued the tyres. That way, if you add an animation to it, you can just basically turn the back wheel this side and it would turn the opposite side. Same on the front, if you turn this one, you turn that one. I thought, how about if I split all 4 tyres separate and I split all 4 rims separate, then what can I do? Now I can either have the 2 front wheels turning at the same time if I want to do that, and I can have the back 2 turning at the same time, or I could turn them separately. So I think if my character comes along in the game mode, and let's say the car's up in the air on jack, and she spins the wheel, she can't spin the wheel because this one's on the floor. So I'm thinking, okay, watch the back wheel. So just so the man knows that I've actually modified the actual wheels. And you can't animate the wheels unless you weld the wheels. So as you can see, it is turning, and then if you go to look at his tyres, if you look at his tyres, I can't get too close in Windows, like that. If you look at his tyre, I say I'm too close. Anyway, in Windows, if you pause the wheel, you'll notice that the man himself, the man who made it, he went to the trouble to actually, kind of modify the tyre. I think it's great. But as I said, you can only animate it once you weld it. They're not, when you download the original, they're not welded, they're not separated, just to let you know that. So I'll explain the animation part after. So what I'll do, I'll explain the animation bars as well to you. So this is the back wheel, and only this back wheel. Nothing else is moving. Only that back wheel. If I go here and play this animation, I'm thinking, well, what's that one? So we look. Okay, now that animation there is this back wheel. Watch. See there? And only that back wheel, that one's not turning. Okay, so let's zoom out. As you can see, only the one wheel's turning. If you go here, number 3, that's one of the front ones. This one here, look. If you go here and press this one, that's obviously this side. As you can see, now that one's turning. Now you see how all wheels are separate? The idea of that is you can glue these 2 animations together, and then when you glue these together, if you want to do this, you can have both front wheels turning. You can have the back 2 welded together, so the back 2 basically moving. You can weld all of them together, so all of the wheels turn together with one animation. As I said, I'll give you the separate animation just in case you might want to say wheel spin the car. If you want to do that, you can wheel spin this wheel, you can wheel spin this wheel, and so forth and so forth. Of course, what I want to do to the car is I want to animate the lights. I want to animate the windows, not the wind. I do want to animate the windows so they go up and down. I want to animate the wipers so they start working. I want to animate the lights. I want them to work separately and I want them to work together. So let's say someone comes along and touches the car. Maybe it's got an alarm on it, and obviously all the lights start flashing. I'm thinking, yeah, I can add all that to this car. I'm thinking, when you download the car, because if you look at the car itself, now this is my own personal opinion, I'm not a 3D artist, I'm really not. The car itself looks almost real. I'm thinking, how can you fault that? You really can't. I'm thinking, but the only thing that I find with it, if I want to use it in the game mode, it looks absolutely fantastic. It really does. As if you look at that, if you actually got one of these cars like that one there, yeah, there's nothing missing off it. He's even put the engine in there. I think it's great. He's even gone to the trouble to even put detail on the engine. So at the moment, the bonnet, I'm going to call it the bonnet. Now I know on this car, the bonnet is here, and the boot is here. I'm thinking, yeah, so this is the back of the car, and this is the front of the car, and on this car, I'm thinking, kind of great. So yeah, I want to be able to open the bonnet because I want to be able to see the engine inside there, just in case you're actually interested in the engine. And not only that, yeah, I want to tweak it slightly. So I am going to tweak this model. As I say, that's where I've done it completely red. So I do have the original model. I've got the original. But I think I like the original. The original will be probably most likely in my Bad Alley, like that, with the 4K texture on it. But it's not going to move, it's just going to sit there. But this one is going to be used all over the game. So yeah, so anyway, so this one has to do everything. So of course, the only thing I can't do with this car is actually physically open the door. I'm thinking, I don't need to do that. Because I'm animating the window, when my character comes along, she can basically climb through the window. Because when you get to the car, the window's automatically down, so it's open. So when you get in the car, you have to put the window up. Because there's no way of opening the door, so you have to go through the window. So anyway, yeah, just to give you an idea. Maybe you don't drive the car, maybe it's a hiding place in the level. Because my character gets chased by big, scary and hairy creatures, I think you need places to hide. So you can't hide in the back of the car because there's an engine in there, or doesn't take the engine out. But you can hide in the front of it. So I'm thinking, okay, if I animate this part and open it, my character can climb in there, close it down, and she can hide for a little while. Anyway, to Mr. Regus over here, Rodrigo. Anyway, I apologize for not saying your name correctly. I really do. So anyway, if you want the car itself, go to the man's website. As I said, I'm really hoping that the man's okay with me modifying the car. As I said, if anybody wants the animation, now I'm not going to give you the car because the car belongs. I can say the car belongs to this man here. The car does belong to this man. This car here. This one is like it's the same car. I've just modified it, twisted it, bent it, shaped it. So I think it's the same car, no different. So if you download the original model, now in order for the animation to work on the man's car, so if you want the 4K car, if you want the 4K version, that's brilliant. If you want to be able to drive it, I'm going to tell you, all you'd have to do, if you want to use my animation on that car, is you see the wheels and the wheel rims, the real rims and the wheel. If you delete them off the original, if you delete them off it, basically, so send yourself a copy, delete the wheels, and put these wheels back on it. Well, put the animation back on this one here. So take the four wheels because they're the same wheels, they're no different. So I said, obviously, if you add this to the animation, basically, I'm trying to tell you, if you basically take the animation and add it to the four wheels that's on here, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, you can keep the car looking exactly like that, except now you've actually got an animation. But of course, if you take that animation for the wheels, you might want to take the animations for the lights, for the wipers, and for the windows. So this car all works. But don't forget, this car over here is not made for that. This one is made just to look at. So it's for rendering, probably, most likely. Yeah, I want to be able to get my character, put her in there, drive around the game world, do some jump scares, and maybe have some kind of way of getting away really, really fast. I'm thinking, yeah, that's kind of great old car. I'm thinking all that car needs really, honestly, all it needs is basically is the sound of one of these actual cars, because they don't sound like a normal car, they sound different. So I'm thinking, I like the sound of them, they sound pretty off, they sound great. So I'm thinking, I'll take the sound, I'll put the sound on the engine, so it's got sound on it. I'll put a sound on the horn and things like that. So anyway, yeah, so I was trying to find the original bits to it, any more original parts to it, and I'll kind of add them to it. That's what I'll do. So I can kind of customize it a little bit more, just to make the man's car look even nicer than that on the picture. As I said, this is the original. If you want to see the original 4K version, as I said, my computer can't run the 4K version. It can't run it. It can run it, but it really, really gets struggles to run it. So I've basically dropped it down to 1024. As I said, this is not 2024. This is an RGB car. That's what it is. So as I said, I can put a texture on it if I want to, but I don't want to. I'm going to leave the colour on it. The colour looks better anyway, I think, and it's a little bit less on the memory. As I said, all I'm going to tell you is go to Blender if you're interested in the car itself. As I said, the message is here. It's a 1965 Beetle. That's what it is. It's a royalty-free 4K texture, and it's made by this man here. So I'm going to say to the man himself, thank you very much for the car. I really truly appreciate it, and I really hope that you don't mind me if you're using it inside Red Band Alley. As I said, any animation that I make for this particular car, well, any animation I make, if you see something, an animation or sound and you want it, just click on the link under the video and download it. So it's up to you. You can use it. There's no copy restrictions on the content. I just like to show off fantastic items, and yeah, I can't say that that's not fantastic. It's a fantastic little car. It really is. Whether it looks like that or whether it looks like that, it still looks great. But of course, it only looks great thanks to the artist himself. So again, thanks very much. As you say, thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe, don't subscribe. Stay safe, keep friendly, keep reading text, and don't forget to go and visit the artist who made the car originally. Thanks very much, see you soon.